And another incredible piece of music that will be part of the performances coming up at the 23rd Annual Association of Blacks in Dance. This is Sojourner Truth, your host, Margaret Prescott, on Pacifica Radio's KPFK, 90.7 FM in Southern California, 98.7 FM in Santa Barbara, streaming and available for free podcasts worldwide on the web at kpfk.org. If you've missed any part of this hour, from 10 this morning for 90 days after that, this show, you can go to kpfk.org and you'll be able to hear the show in its entirety, download and get a free podcast. And we are now going to return to our discussion with Lula Washington, world-renowned dancer, choreographer Tamika Washington Miller, who Lula is now passing the torch to in terms of the famous dance school here in Southern California. Also, Evan Holland has joined us here in studio. Now, Evan, why don't we bring you into this discussion, because this 23rd International Association of Blacks in Dance Conference, starting the 27th through the 30th. Tell us, what is it and what's going to be going on?
Well, for 4 days, some of the most renowned figures in dance, particularly Black concert dance from around the world, will be coming to Los Angeles to engage in panel discussions, workshops, lectures, showcases, paper presentations, and performances, all sort of centered around the conference theme, which is culture at the crossroads, or dancing at the crossroads. Sorry, and it's really sort of looking at passing the torch, as was mentioned before, between from the sort of to the sort of next generation of dance artists, choreographers, and arts leaders, and all the issues surrounding that, competing with other arts, competing with Hollywood, and just sort of keeping the tradition of Black dance alive from a history and historiography standpoint.
Right, and
can I jump in?
Yes, Lula.
Also, we have some international groups coming. We have a group from Australia that's participating this year. We have a group from Canada that's participating this year, and we have a group from Jamaica that's participating this year. So it's a wide expansion of dance artistry. But I want to jump on Dr. Cornell West, because dancing at the crossroads has to do with how we see ourselves and how we choose to position ourselves. And I've chosen his book, Hope on a Tightrope, and asked our participants to start to read, particularly chapter 1 and 2, because I bought the book and hadn't opened it until right before the conference, and I just opened it, and it was a perfect paragraph that happened during Kwanzaa time that had to do with culture, and how he was talking about how culture is going to be part of our salvation. And I said, well, wow, this is what dance is. It's part of culture. And how, so in looking at dancing at the crossroads, how we want to reposition ourselves, see ourselves move forward in the future and not get left behind, but get out of the concept of thinking old, get into a new framework. So part of what we're trying to do is think differently by using Dr. Cornell West's book and trying to come up with some new solutions for ourselves so that we don't have to depend on grants and funding all the time.
Right, and Tamika, give our audience a sense of, in addition to workshops and seminars, there are going to be some performances and some key people that are going to be part of the performances. So share that with our audience. It's really exciting. I wish I could be there for all of it.
Let me just say this one thing real quick, because when you say key people, you would want to come and see Donald McHale, Jaime Rogers, and Vanoy Akins. Vanoy Akins was Miss Catherine Dunham's last dancing partner. And to hear their stories and their dance journey. And Virginia Johnson, the new artistic director of Dance Theater of Harlem, is going to tell her story from prima ballerina to artistic director.
And editor-in-chief of the Dance
Tamika.
Magazine. Okay. You've got a bunch of amazing companies. Dance Theater of Harlem will be performing at the conference. You have, of course, Lula Washington Dance Theater, Philadango Dance Company, Dallas Black Dance, Cleo Parker Robinson from Denver, and
Ronald K.
Brown Evidence. We'll be doing some work of Rennie Harris's. We have Las Vegas Contemporary Dance Theater. Works from Urban Bush Women. So the list goes on of these.
And Australia, true. That's Aboriginal, Indigenous.
Yes.
Wow, that's amazing.
They were at the studio yesterday.
Evan Holland, where is all this going to be taking place? And people who are dying to just participate in all of this, what should they do?
Well, first, they should visit lulawashington.org/IABD for International Association of Blacks in Dance. All the information for the conference is there. It's not too late to purchase tickets for particular events, as well as become a full registrant and have free access to basically all of the activities over the 4-day week. It's going to be taking place in downtown Los Angeles primarily. The Biltmore Hotel on Grand, the Los Angeles Central High School for the Visual Performing Arts, I think the name is also downtown, as well as the Japan American Theater, where the 2 evening performances on Friday and Saturday night will take place. There will also be some workshops and such at Lula Washington Dance Theater on Crenshaw Coliseum. So that's
and amazing youth companies too, from all across the United States are coming, and they'll be performing. And that's the beauty of it. It's educational and it's enriching. And the whole idea is to uplift ourselves through dance and motivate the dance community to aspire to go beyond where we are and see ourselves in a different position, because the funding for the arts is really not where it used to be. And many of us have lost a lot of our programming because funds have been cut. Dance in the schools, arts in the schools is not where it needs to be. So part of this weekend, I hope, is to shine the light on dance as an art form and to increase visibility and let people know that dance is part of the solution. It's not the problem. Use dance to help solve society's problems.
And speaking of solving society's problems, Lula Washington, I mean, you have been around the world. You have worked in film. Your heart, is in inner city communities. But for an event like this, the focus is Blacks in Dance Conference. But this is something that is open and available and welcoming for communities throughout Southern California.
Exactly. It's not for just African American people. It's for all people interested in the arts, all people interested in dance, wanting to hear more, to hear the stories, because dance brings people together. All the dance companies have. The beautiful thing about Alvin Ailey's company, when I saw it, I just didn't see African American dancers on the stage. I saw Chinese people, Vietnamese people. I saw people from all over the world dance, and that's what the power of dance is. And Miss Dunham used to say, we are the ones. We are the ones the world is waiting for, dance and dancers. And so dance brings us together. We came into the world dancing, and you know that when you go out, you won't be doing the same movement you was doing when you came in. So we need to keep that flame alive. And so that's what we're trying to do.
Right, and we're going to be talking about Haiti next. And of course, Ms. Dunham, who was so loved Haiti, and I'm sure her heart would be breaking given what is happening now.
Today,
in Haiti. Is there a phone number that people can call?
Yes, they can call our dance studio at 323-292-5852. 323-292-5852, and they can also check the website www.lulawashington.org/IABD.
Right, and there are going to be different venues, Evan, as well, for locations for some of the activities. In addition to the Biltmore Theater, I see the Japan American Cultural Center and some other places, some high schools as well.
Exactly. The Los Angeles Central High School for the Visual and Performing Arts, it's the newer high school downtown. There will be workshops and master classes there. So students and dancers at all levels can go and take classes there from some of the great choreographers and dance leaders out there. Conference workshops, all from across the spectrum, anything from new technologies to what's going on with funding in the arts world to sort of intergenerational connection with the arts. All those panels will also be taking place at the Biltmore.
And Lula, hold your thought. I'm going to want you to give some final comments here, but here's what Lula Washington and this entire crew has done for you, the Sojourner Truth listener. There are 4 tickets available for Friday night's performance. The first 4 winners to call us at 818-985-5735. You get, is it a pair of tickets we're getting? So is it 2 people getting a pair of tickets?
Yes.
It's 2 people calling the first two people will get a pair of tickets. 818-985-5735. We're going to have two winners today for the 23rd annual International Association of Blacks in Dance Conference, and this is going to be for the Friday night performance. 818-985-5735. Two lucky winners. We like to thank our audience here at Sojourner Truth, and we want to thank the Lula Washington Dance Theater and the entire crew for making these tickets available. 818-985-5735. Lula Washington, some final thoughts.
Final thoughts is on Thursday, if you don't come out, you should be beat, because it's complimentary. The things that we have, because I want people to take advantage of this.
Okay.
We have free activities on Thursday all the way through that people can come out and participate in hopes of being motivated to purchase for the rest of the event. And also, one important thing for our educators and people looking to write grants for arts, Wayne Cook from the California Arts Council is going to be here on Thursday, and he'll be available to talk to you about how you can go about getting funding in through the California Arts Council, and how often do you have that opportunity to ask your questions to find out what their process is.
So that's Thursday. That's Thursday.
And I'm saying, tell people to come on out, get up, get your coffee or whatever. Park at Pershing Square, though.
Okay, right, and you know, also this event only comes to Los Angeles every 5 to 6 years, so this is the moment to do so. We are out of time for this segment, but we want to thank Lula Washington, Tamika Washington Miller, Evan Holland for coming in and joining us in studio, and I'm sure lots of people are very much looking forward to this exciting event. And Lula, thank you so very much for all of what you have done for young people throughout Southern California.
But you know, this is my favorite station. I listen to it all the time, and when I'm on tour, when your sister stations, we get interviewed there, and it's always about the arts, and I want you to know that you guys appreciate it, about all the topics that you cover, because they're so important.
Thank you so very much for joining us. And the music that you're hearing in the background now, again, this is music that you will hear as part of the performances, workshops, and more happening at the 23rd Annual International Association of Blacks in Dance Conference. We are now going to turn our attention to Haiti. We had hoped to have Ira Kurzban. Ira did warn me, though. He said, Margaret, the situation is very fluid. I'm going to have to be on the ground in Haiti at any moment. We know the situation there right now. The brutal dictator, Baby Doc Duvalier, has turned up, while the popular and twice elected Democratic president of Haiti, Jean-Bertrand Aristide, still sits with his family in South Africa, pleading to be able to come home. And the United States State Department has pretty much